Okay, great. All right, so let's dive in. We are joined by a few of the incredible leaders in our administration who will give basically an end-of-year report out on some of the work that's been happening, again, amidst a very complicated set of challenges and pressures on our residents. And then I want to give my council colleagues a chance also to share a little bit of their perspective. As you already heard, City Council President Ruti Lujan, as well as City Councilor Enrique Pepin and City Councilor Gabriela Coleta Zapata. So I will kick it off, and then after me will be our Superintendent of Basic City Services, Mike Brohl, followed by Chief of Streets, Nick Gove, Superintendent for Waste Reduction, Dennis Roach, Chief of Operations, Dion Irish, Superintendent of Street Lighting, Mike Donaghy, and then Director of Boston 311, Ergi Budo. Okay, so thank you for joining us to get a recap of a historic year for our basic city services and much collaboration between city departments and our residents as well. I love city government because you can't fake it, and the details are what matter. Boston deserves a city hall and partnerships across the city that make sure that we get those details right and that we're always trying to improve and do more every single day. Some of us were together yesterday. It was several degrees cooler outside by the salt pile at Frontage Road to preview winter preparations. And we were in front of the 6,000-ton salt pile, one of 8 locations, 37,000 tons in total, alongside the 175 pieces of snow clearing equipment and contractors standing by so that we'll be ready for whatever the winter brings us. But even before the winter weather comes, we want to make sure that residents can get around our city and can enjoy every part of our community and make sure that every part of Boston is safe, beautiful, welcoming, and taken care of. This year, we worked on getting all of those details done and did more than before as well. In the past year, our teams resurfaced more than 50 miles of streets, which is a new record. We added 37,000 feet of new sidewalk, about 30 times the perimeter of Fenway Park. We reconstructed a record 1,723 ADA compliant ramps so that all of our residents can get where they're going safely and smoothly. Calls for missed trash collection were down 14% over the previous 3-year average. And when our residents did call, I am very grateful for our teams that we have been working hard to answer. 311 picked up more than 260,000 calls with an average hold time of just 14 seconds. Across city departments, we made more than 6,000 calls to interpreters, assisting callers in 17 different languages. And once those calls came in, we worked to fix what needed fixing quickly. Our teams filled more than 4,000 potholes in the last year. We upgraded more than 2,500 light fixtures along major corridors like Blue Hill Ave, American Legion, and River Street. We restriped 1,694 crosswalks, conducted 750 rodent treatments, and replaced more than 100 trash cans with rodent-resistant trash barrels across our parks. And since 2022, even as the overall case volume has increased, we have closed more street cleaning cases on time than ever before. Our teams didn't just fix problems quickly, we helped build community across all of our neighborhoods as well. This holiday season, we are lighting more than 50 Christmas trees in our public spaces, as well as menorahs, the pirate ship, and the trellis, and parks and playgrounds everywhere. Our community engagement cabinet provided more than 3,200 Thanksgiving turkeys to families in need and helped assist with thousands more that various other community partners were providing. Our neighborhood liaisons held office hours in the community every Friday this year. And we got City Hall out into our communities through our coffee hours in the neighborhood parks every single year. The path to solving our big problems begins with the basics. The sidewalks, the street lights, the small details that our residents see every time they step outside. These are your tax dollars at work. And this is what a functioning government looks like. Basic city services done well. This is what we mean when we're building the best city to raise a family in the country. We mean that when we fill potholes and add crosswalks and plow sidewalks, when we bring neighbors together through programming at our BCYF centers and our libraries. We get the little things right because we care about our community's concerns and we care about our community. because Boston families deserve a government that fixes problems and follows through. So I want to just give a big, huge thank you to all of our incredible city workers who work all year round, in the wind, in the rain, in the snow, in the heat, to help our neighbors. We are deeply grateful for your service to the city, and I know that we are going to keep showing our residents what responsive government looks like in 2026 and beyond. Okay, otra vez en español, and then I'm going to pass it over to Mike Broll. Buenos días y gracias. Nuestra ciudad hace las cosas grandes bien porque hacemos las cosas pequeñas correctamente. Y este año hemos mejorado en cómo hacemos las cosas pequeñas. Nuestros equipos recorrieron más de 50 millas de calles, un nuevo récord. Añadimos 37,000 pies de nueva acera, aproximadamente 30 veces el perímetro de Fenway Park. Y las llamadas de recolección de basura perdida disminuyeron un 13.9% con respecto al promedio de 3 años anteriores. Cuando nuestros residentes llamaron, respondimos. Recibimos más de 200,000 llamadas realizadas al 311 con un tiempo de espera promedio de solo 14 segundos. En todos los departamentos de la ciudad, hicimos más de 6,000 llamadas de interpretación para conectar a los residentes a su ayuda por el departamento de 311 en 17 idiomas diferentes. Y tras que llegaran esas llamadas, arreglamos lo que necesitaba ser arreglado rápidamente. Nuestros equipos llenaron más de 4,000 baches, actualizaron más de 2,500 accesorios de iluminación y nuestros equipos no solo solucionaron los problemas rápidamente, sino que ayudaron a construir una comunidad en nuestros vecindarios. Entregamos, decoramos y iluminamos o encenderemos más de 50 árboles de Navidad en nuestros espacios públicos. Nuestro gabinete de participación comunitaria proporcionó más de 3,200 pavos de acción de gracias a familias necesitadas. El camino para resolver nuestros grandes problemas comienza con lo básico: las aceras, las luces de la calle y los pequeños detalles que nuestros residentes ven cada vez que salen. Cuando están bien hechos, los servicios básicos de la ciudad muestran que nos tomamos en serio el dinero de sus impuestos. Lo decimos seriamente cuando decimos que estamos construyendo la mejor ciudad para formar una familia. Boston merece un gobierno que solucione los problemas y haga todo lo que pueda para hacerlo. Así que quiero extender un sincero agradecimiento a todos nuestros increíbles trabajadores de la ciudad que trabajan todo el año en el viento, la lluvia, la nieve y el calor sofocante para ayudar a sus vecinos. So happy holidays to everyone, and thank you for all of every time you reach out to 311, your neighborhood liaison, come to a community meeting, tell us what you need. That allows us to deliver the services that will help our entire community. So keep it coming for 2026, and thank you most of all to all of our city workers. And I'll pass it on to Superintendent Broll.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Mike Broll. I serve as the Superintendent of Basic City Services for Mayor Michelle Wu. I am grateful for her today, as well as the folks who will be speaking shortly about their team's operations and the stats and data that the Mayor has spoken about. I have deeper and greater appreciation for the men and women who these folks represent, who do this work in the field, in the street, who sometimes, because of the nature of their work, lack the opportunity to do work from home and other benefits that we see across the city. This work is done by men and women who work with a shot clock, we call it. You know, there's a time you call in, you create a case, and we're on it. We're trying to get things done and resolved as fast as possible. That work is critical to keeping the city moving, healthy. We have a lot of folks here from the Streets Cabinet today. There's also great success across the city. Parks Department has planted over 2,000 new trees this year. We have 2 public golf courses that saw just under 100,000 rounds of golf in a limited Northeast season. There's a lot of good work going on. Again, just great appreciation for the men and women who perform this work every day. With that, I'll pass off to Chief Nick Gove.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Mayor. So good morning. I'm Nick Gove, Interim Chief of Streets for the City of Boston. The work of the Streets Cabinet, as the Mayor has stated, directly impacts the lives of every resident in the city. Getting to work, school, and moving through your everyday life depends on clean, safe, and accessible streets and sidewalks. Ensuring the city's public realm infrastructure is safe and well-maintained is the #1 priority of the Streets Cabinet. Over the past 3 years, 73% of our capital funding, over $212 million, has been allocated to Public Works and the Transportation Departments for maintenance and repair of roads, sidewalks, and bridges. As part of this effort, we are managing a backlog of sidewalk repairs and curb ramp accessibility improvements. We have successfully pivoted to a more proactive approach to this work, including the implementation of new city contract vehicles. These programs include neighborhood-specific reconstruction and repair contracts for both brick and concrete sidewalks designed to address our backlog of work as well as new 311 requests. As the mayor mentioned, we resurfaced 50 miles of roadway this year. For context, we did 24 miles in 2024 and reconstructed 1,723 ADA-compliant ramps. This accomplishment required significant coordination and an extraordinary effort to complete this scope of work. I want to thank Norman Park, Sean Darden, and Bob Estrella for all their work on that this year, as well as the entire Public Works construction management team. It's truly a monumental task. Complementary to this work, the Boston Transportation Department completed 42 miles of long line striping, installed 23 new crosswalks, and refreshed 1,694 crosswalks citywide. Special thanks to Julio Chow, Rich Shamshak, and the entire BTD team for this effort. Additionally, under the leadership of Mike Donaghy, we've upgraded 2,524 light fixtures over the last year. Mike will be up to speak to more of street lighting in a few moments. But lastly, I want to introduce Dennis Roach to talk about the city's sanitation program. No city service impacts residents more than the reliable pickup of curbside solid waste and recycling. Our contract with Capital Waste Services is the second largest contract in the city, and we are on pace to pick up a projected 200,000 tons of solid waste and 35 tons of recycling in 2025. In 2024, the Streets Cabinet Finance and Sanitation team successfully negotiated a contract that resulted in improved service delivery for residents and fair wages for sanitation workers. And frankly, we avoided some of the challenges that some other cities had this year. So with that, Dennis, thank you for all your work.
Hi, thank you to Chief Gove, thank you to Mayor Wu, and thank you all for being here. My name is Dennis Roach. I'm the Superintendent of Waste Reduction for the City of Boston. I want to talk to you a little bit about trash and recycling today because, well, it's something most people don't think about beyond putting their barrel out on the curb. It's actually one of the most essential services the City of Boston provides. Every single day, our crews collect trash and recycling from more than 70,000 households a day. That's a huge operation. It's core to keeping Boston clean, healthy, and livable. And even as things have become more complicated in recent years, our teams continue to close the vast majority of missed trash cases within 24 hours. That's something we track closely because reliability is what builds trust with our residents. Now, as many of you know, the world of waste management has changed a lot. COVID accelerated that. People were home more, trash tonnage jumped overnight, and our collection routes had to absorb a ton of extra volume. And it didn't stop there. We now manage new waste streams like mattress recycling, textiles, food waste, and a growing list of Mass DEP banned items that all require different handling in public education. So while taking out the trash hasn't changed much for residents, the work happening behind the scenes absolutely has. To keep up with these challenges, the city issued updated trash and recycling contracts focused on improving reliability, consistency, and accountability. These contracts are helping us strengthen collection efficiency and support cleaner, safer streets, even as regulations and residents' habits continue to evolve. At the same time, the Office of Waste Reduction has taken a much more active presence in the field. We've been spending real time in neighborhoods that face these basic challenges. Places like the South End, Beacon Hill, Chinatown, and Roxbury, just to name a few. We're looking at waste challenges, rodent issues, illegal dumping, and the realities of dense housing and tight streets. And most importantly, we're listening to residents. The feedback we're gathering directly from neighborhoods, civic groups, and community partners is now shaping what the next generation of Boston's trash contracts will look like. Those will be bid starting next year, and they'll move us more towards a neighborhood-centric approach. Because what works out on a narrow Beacon Hill Street is not the same as what works in East Boston or Dorchester or even Mattapan. Boston needs solutions that fit the realities that are on the ground. And that brings me to the strategies we're going to be focusing on as we modernize our trash operations. First, we're working to reduce the amount of time trash sits on the street. This is one of the most direct ways to improve cleanliness and cut down on rodent issues. It's also one of the top concerns we hear from our residents in our densest neighborhoods. Second, we are developing right-sized solutions for every neighborhood. There is no one-size-fits-all approach in a city like Boston. As part of this work, we're exploring containerization strategies because different neighborhoods require different tools. The goal is cleaner streets, less rodent access, and more efficient collection. And through all of this, we're being thoughtful about cost. Every modernization strategy has to be grounded in responsible use of city resources. Our aim is to deliver high-quality service while managing costs effectively and sustainably. So the bottom line is this, is Boston's water waste system is evolving, and it needs to. But the mission stays the same, delivering reliable, modern services that keep our streets clean and support the quality of life in every single neighborhood. And we're doing this hand in hand with residents because no one understands our neighborhoods better than our residents. So thank you, and I'd like to pass this off to the Chief Director of Operations, Deanne Irish.
Thanks, Dennis. I'm going to focus my remarks on our RAD initiative, the Boston Rodent Action Plan, but I also want to touch lightly and thank the City Council and the Mayor also for the investment and the commitment that we're also making to keeping our buildings up and running and investing in the maintenance and things that go behind the scenes with our buildings. With respect to rats, 2025 was not a good year for rats in Boston. 2026 won't be any better. And that's in large part due to the collaboration that involves over 15 different city agencies that have been working very closely together to do things like Dennis mentioned, is to remove the access to food and things of that nature that can help us to reduce measurably our rodent population. Just a few highlights of things that were accomplished in 2025. We completed almost 2,000 site cleanliness inspections, which are inspections that ensures that those folks who have bulk refuse have appropriate containers properly located and have good plans to make sure they're keeping trash off the street. Conducted 750 rodent treatments, and this is all while reducing our reliance on rodenticides and second-generation coagulants that have other unintended effects, so I really want to thank the team for that. We've responded to almost 6,000 rodent-related 311 complaints. We've installed over 40 sewer traps working with Boston Water and Sewer Commission, and rats do love our sewers as well. We've installed rat-resistant products in Beacon Hill tree pits to prevent burrowing. We've deployed 60-plus smart box traps in Chinatown, Austin, Brighton, and South Boston. As the mayor mentioned, we've installed over 100-plus pest-resistant trash barrels in our parks and in different neighborhoods, and there's more to come on that. I also want to thank the community through the participatory budget program, where I think the second highest vote getter was a pilot initiative around rat, that we've got $500,000 that are being deployed to improving trash collection in our housing developments. Also, we've deployed over 200 sensors throughout the city, so we're not just relying on 311 complaints to monitor rat activity. We also have sensors that are helping us with that as well. We've also, as I mentioned, shifted to more environmentally safe measures, and the community is also an important aspect of this, where we launched the educational campaign called Outrat Them. So feel free to visit our website, boston.gov, to learn more about that. But essentially, if you see something, squeak something. And we're urging residents to use 311 to make sure that we're focusing where we need to be focused. And we're also using community engagement as a part of the strategy. We hosted a dozen meetings with hundreds of residents. We've also had community walks with business owners, with residents, and property owners to make sure we're identifying and addressing issues. And so with that, I will stop there because we could go on for longer and turn it over now to Mike Donaghy, our Superintendent of Street Lighting.
Good morning. My name is Mike Donaghy, excuse me, and I'm the Superintendent of Street Lighting for the City of Boston Public Works Department. I want to thank Mayor Wu, Superintendent Brohl, and Interim Chief Gove for having me here today. And I really want to start by recognizing the dedicated staff who work hard every day for our street lighting division to ensure that our street lighting system is reliable, safe, and efficient. Without their commitment, I wouldn't be able to talk to you today about the achievements we've made in 2025. And those achievements start with our operations, where our team is responsible for the maintenance, repair, and replacement of over 71,000 lights. This has resulted in over 8,000 cases closed in 2025, as well as 700 emergencies responded to. In addition to these core responsibilities, our team has upgraded over 2,500 fixtures. This is an increase from 1,700 in 2024 and 600 in 2023. In addition to that, we've incorporated smart street lighting. So what we can do now is remotely monitor, control, and even dim the lighting to suit the needs of the particular environment. We have installations in Downtown Crossing, Nubian Square, and American Legion Highway, as the mayor had mentioned, as well as many other areas of the city. This installation of the smart street lighting is a first for us and really opens the door for what future street lighting operations will look like. But what it's more emphasis on is our commitment to state of good repair, which is incredibly important for the constituent as well as for our operations. One thing we've seen by virtue of these lighting upgrades is a year-over-year increase from 2022, a decrease year-over-year from 2022 of our outage case openings, which really speaks to the connection that putting in new assets is reducing the outages and the issues that we're seeing out in the field. And finally, we have a big responsibility in spreading holiday cheer throughout the city by virtue of installing 30,000 lights on 51 trees throughout our city. Additionally, we participate in 37 tree dedication ceremonies where we flip the switch on the countdowns and work in concert with Eric Prentice, a Shattuck Award winner most recently, to get that done. The bottom line is our team understands the importance of basic city service and what that does and how that connects to the quality of life of both residents as well as visitors. We're proud to play a role in ensuring that the street lighting contributes to a safer, brighter, and more welcoming city for everyone. Thank you. I'll turn this over to Ergi, our Director of 311.
Thank you. I'm Ergi Budo, a little shorter than everyone else. Director of 311, the City of Boston's 24-hour constituent service hotline. We're here, again, 24/7, 365 days a year to provide you with information or report issues that you're seeing throughout the city. This year, 311 received over 260,000 calls from residents. On average, it takes 14 seconds until one of our call takers answers the call. 95% of our calls are answered within 30 seconds, which puts Boston 15% above the industry standard. Boston 311 prides itself on directly speaking to a live agent and offering support in 12 languages, including Spanish, Haitian, Cape Verdean Creole, Vietnamese, and many more. This year, we received more than 3,000 phone calls, which we fielded in 17 different languages. We've been working hard to improve our process by making information about city services and data about roads and parks clearer and more accessible for our call takers. So when you call 311, your issue gets routed to the right team much faster. The Boston 311 app, in addition to our call takers, we collect feedback and service requests from constituents through the BOS 311 app. Over 226,000 cases were created through the app this year. That's thanks to all the residents of Boston. Together with requests called in, over 300,000 cases reported to the city this year. I encourage you all to download the Boston 311 app, which is supported in 12 different languages, to help us better understand and resolve your issues. We strongly encourage you to submit photos with your requests. Updates to the app have been made to make reporting as smooth as possible. There are now sections on the app for you to get updates on White Stadium, BPS new state-of-the-art facilities. You can schedule a mattress or special item pickup directly on the app. If you are new to the city, you can download our updated move-in guide, access the City of Boston's event calendar to see when your neighborhood liaison is hosting their weekly office hours every Friday, or sign up for one of H. Strong's meditation or popular chair yoga classes. Lastly, we are always open to feedback, so you can just click the How Are We Doing section on the app and let us know what can be improved through the app. Thank you so much, and I will pass it over to City Councilor President Louis Jeune.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you to our dedicated city staff who really make sure that this city runs. I am appreciative, Chief Irish, of all the work on the Boston Road Action Plan. That's work that my office has been really committed to, and we were glad to get more money in the budget. I'm also very appreciative of all your puns and the process, so thank you. And to Dennis and to so many people who we depend on as city councilors every day to do what we are called to do, which is answer constituent calls, make sure our residents know that the city is working for them. My first task as a city councilor when I came to office 4 years ago was getting a trash can in Roxbury on Warren Street in an area where there was a lot of littering happening. And so I know that these are our real champions here in the city, and I want to thank all of you for the work that you do. I know that we are constantly working on issues, emails out to some of you to make sure that residents' issues are being resolved. So thanks to everyone. I am going to pass it along to my colleague, Councilor Enrique Pepin, if you wanted to share any words.
Good morning, everyone. Councilor Enrique Pepin, Boston City Council for District 5, but also I'm the Chair of City Services. So this topic is very much at the forefront of my office. I want to start off by just thanking every single department that is represented here today. I probably have all of them on speed dial, probably bothering them a lot more than I should, but it just shows that this is probably the #1 topic that residents truly care about on a day-to-day issue. I know it's true for my office, probably true for my colleagues' offices too, that they're reaching out for potholes, a new street sign request, or fixing a sidewalk, or making sure that there's a trash can at a curb cut. And it's an issue that may not always catch the headlines of the news, but it's something that is at the mind of every single resident. So I'm glad that we're doing this hearing because it just shows the important work that every single department and city worker is doing every single day in the city of Boston. And when we come to City Hall, if it's not an email, it's a phone call or messages on Facebook or Instagram, residents truly care about this topic. And at the City Council, in the City Services Committee, we've held dozens of hearings in the past 2 years regarding street paving, composting, street lighting. We just had recently one by Councilor Coletta where we've talked about contractors and their follow-up after they do work on our streets. It's the stuff that truly impact our residents on a day-to-day. So to everyone in this room, thank you for the work that you do. To the mayor, thank you to the commitment. I hope that the message that comes out of this today is that we are taking care of our day-to-day issues in the city of Boston. So thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to pass it over to District 1 Boston City Councilor Gabriela Coletta Zapata.
Thank you so much, everybody. I think I may be the last speaker, but I'm going to belabor the point because this is one of my favorite topics and the core function, really, of working for our residents. We, in my office, we talk a lot about solving some of our most persistent issues, advancing affordable housing, building a greener, more sustainable future, ensuring a high-quality education for our kids. But at the forefront of every discussion and at team meetings and staff meetings and what the day-to-day issues are, it is mostly the nuts and bolts, bread and butter issues here in city government. I asked my staff how many constituent cases we've gotten. It pales in comparison to 311. What was it, 600,000? 300,000. Okay, 300,000. We got about 600. However, that requires a lot of partnership, true partnership, and collaboration with what I consider the A team up here. I do have you all on speed dial. Thank you so much for answering our calls and our texts and our emails the way in which you do, because we understand that, yes, advancing some of the larger policy issues are important. However, when a constituent reaches out to our office, calls 311, and they see that the pothole that they were asking to get fixed, or the street was repaved, or a trash can was installed, or a street light was repaired, this is their tax dollars at work. I'm going to end with a story that I think speaks to this point, where somebody had reached out to our office asking for a street to be repaved. And we had coordinated with Norman Parks, who I don't think has gotten a shout out yet, but I want to give a shout out to Norman for the work that he does, the chief engineer. And we had said that there was going to be a timeline, and the constituent basically replied, and I don't know the exact wording, but I'll believe it when I see it. And it happened this year. And we got an email back from that constituent saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. You guys really listened to me. And that is what this work, what we're talking about today, why it is so important. When we deliver for residents, when we deliver high quality constituent services and basic city services, we are saying that we are listening to you, but that also we didn't forget about you and you belong. And so that's what I'm super proud of, and I'm grateful for the team up here. I'm grateful to Mayor Wu and grateful for you all for being here and the opportunity to speak. Thank you. Am I passing this to anybody else? Okay, that's it. Thanks. Thank you, everybody.